Okay, so some people been asking, we'll see if this strategy works on gold only or every pair. So it works on every pair. Yeah. It's just that like mostly I love to trade gold because I find it like challenging compared to other pairs. Yeah. So it works on everything. I'm gonna dive into gold a little and then I'm gonna go back to NASDAQ. Yeah. Yeah, mostly I trade US 500. I use gold to analyze, and I use NAS 100 to analyze US 500. Like most of the time they correspond somehow. Okay, so Sunday, no. Okay. So okay, let me also take Friday. Fridays from here to this point and then here to this point. So this is the highest point of Friday, this is the lowest point of Friday. So this whole thing is Friday. Okay, so Monday. Okay, before we dive into it, okay, on Monday we had this move, né? This move sweeping. Monday took Friday. It was a sweep, not a break of structure. And then the lowest point is still not taken. Okay, let me fix this. Okay, yeah. So on Monday the market opened, went up, dropped, went up. So before you try to trade this whole thing, you have to draw something like this. Okay, let me at least maybe I'm trying to find the 50% of this area of the range. So 50% of the range is here. 50% of Friday. Remember, we see we are only buying above, I mean below. We are only buying below to be safe. Yeah, we don't just buy anyway. We have to be safe. Yeah. You cannot just buy randomly over here. Yeah, I wasn't gonna see this entry. Even if I saw something here into 15 minutes, I wasn't gonna look into it. So it swept, so there is no entry. There's no entry for Monday. Okay, so what we have now is the lowest point of Monday. Daily range. And the highest point of Monday. On Tuesday, I wasn't gonna trade this. Maybe when I gonna maybe chance this fair value gap, but then not interesting. Not interesting. Oh, not interesting. Because you cannot buy here if you have something like this. Oh. Okay. Yeah. So if you wanna see if this fair value gap gonna work, this whole of it, this is the whole fair value gap, né? But then I'm gonna take the end or the starting point of the move. I'm not saying you have to buy here as you always do. So if this fair value gap works, the markets will approach fair value gap like this. and then tap and then go up, then the fair value gap is gonna work. But if the market will just drop straight with a move like this, it won't be convincing. It won't be convincing. Like a straight drop is not like what I'm looking for. I'm looking for something like a retracement, a slower retracement. Like it can do whatever, but then because it has to create liquidity to take. It has to create liquidity to take. So the more we have, the higher liquidity pulls on top, and then I'll be buying this because of liquidity. But if it's just gonna be a drop, this is what I'm gonna do. If it's gonna be a drop, I'll look for an entry and wait again for a retracement that is randomly to the lowest side. There's difference between the market going to your POI and the market manipulating your POI. If they go into straight one, like a whole move like this one, which contain like fair value gaps and power moves, sort of, I won't look into it. But then I'm looking for something like this. If we are coming to this, so for now, let me go to maybe daily, so that I'm gonna see how's the market looking into daily time frame. Okay, we have a point which is liquidity pool over here. We have a point. Yeah. Okay, and then there is this fair value gap that was manipulated. So they don't usually, it's not a manipulation. Let me show how something like this. If market will drop and leave the fair value gap anyway, if they come back like this, this is not a manipulation. This is now your support area. You have to look a fair value gap inside of a fair value gap. They're gonna come back to it and then continue with the move. So let me change the color at least, because I want to dive into a 15-minute time frame and see what up. Okay, now this is making sense. This is now making sense. So it's important to like follow the rules. So this fair value gap was skipped. Manipulated in just I wanna make it simple now. Manipulated, then they went back to retest into the same spot. So let us scale the 50% of the fair value gap, which is this one. Yes. So the 50% of this fair value gap is this point here. So now I understand why they didn't drop lower to this one. So remember, I said we don't resize anything, so I won't resize this fair value gap because it is the main one. The main one, it is the fair value gap that you find on the bigger time frames, like 1 hour, 4 hour, daily. But mostly I use 1 hour Yeah, I mean, mostly I use 1 hour, 15 minutes, and 5 minutes. 1, 2, 3. Sometimes 30 minutes, but like my rule works well and or better into 15 1 hour. Then I'll have to check some liquidity pools on daily time frame as I did with this one. So I don't trade everything, so I wasn't gonna try this. I know it's possible for the market to do something like this, but then I wasn't gonna take an entry, because there is a long fair value gap. Forex market is something else, so sometimes you have to stay back. You don't have to trade everything, because it's once a week, as you know. So okay, let me show you this. There's a fair value gap here on 15-minute time frame. On 1 hour it's not, so my rule doesn't apply into something like this. I wasn't gonna even sell here because on 1 hour there is no fair value gap, and I'm looking for the fair value gap on the hour time frame. It looks nice, but then the problem here was gonna be a target, and the stop loss is huge. Cannot put a stop loss like this into equally developed. If you are willing to buy into the 50% and target this whole thing, stop loss cannot be large as this, because then let us say we have a $10 account, because we are still trying as traders though. What if we blow, or what if it's we have to avoid like stop losses like this. You don't have to look into yeah. So some entries are good, but then if the stop loss is large, you don't have to take those kind of entries. Okay, so let me go to NASDAQ 100. Okay, on NASDAQ 100, let us check into daily time frame. We're looking for a liquidity pull. So into NASDAQ 100, there's a major fair value gap, which is this one. Okay, the major fair value gap must be gray, so that you're gonna remember. Also, this one is the main because we got it into the bigger time frame. So let me scale to 1 hour. This is the main fair value gap, and there's no secondary that is interesting, so it can't be this one here. It can't be this one here. But it is not interesting. So inside of the main, we hit this one again, which I wasn't gonna look into because I want something out of the main fair value gap. So let us see how it looks on 15 minutes. Yeah, on 15 minutes, like we still have it, still have it on 15 minutes. So if we're gonna okay, let me take this as your order block. Okay, let me put order block as maybe yellow, yeah, and remove the main because we're no longer interested into the main. Yes. So even if this trade takes you out, at least you have your mini stop loss. Okay, targeting this low, or look for 50% of this range. Yeah, it's gonna be, you take profits into this low. But then you have to look at the fundamentals also if you wanna trade NAS hundreds, because indices are mostly being influenced by fundamentals. Use your investingapp.com and see if the triples is showing a upward arrow or a downward arrow. If the market is like this, and on your investing app it shows a down arrow, just know that you are going down, even maybe to this point, or but if the investing app is showing green upward arrow, just know we're gonna work like this. Should come back to retest and then continue with the way. You should be a technical trader, but then we have to look into investing app. Like, I'm not here to teach you how to read news, but then it's sometimes a must, because not just every day the technicals are controlling this whole thing. Technical is working with the fundamentals, so you have to know how to read the investingapp.com. So I don't think I do have investing app, but then I think it's making sense. I want not to see if the news are buying, then you say your setup is ruined. It's not. Wait for it to buy, as they said. Entry is gonna be the same points still. So your setup works vice versa. If the news are buying, you're gonna wait for them to buy and wait for them to come back. This is gonna be your entry. If the news are showing a selling side, then you are selling here. They are supporting your wish. It's either you go with them or you are blower. It's up to you.